Are we live? Hey there, everybody. This week's real estate chat, we're going to talk about saving up the down payment for your house. This is one of the biggest obstacles a lot of people face in buying a house and getting out of renting it into owning is having the cash to put down. We've talked about down payments before, so you're going to need to look at down payment and closing costs. Those are two things that may come out of pocket at closing that you'll need to be prepared for. And we're not going to go into detail on closing costs today. In this particular market, in our area, Manhattan, Kansas area, a good rule of thumb is about 2% of the purchase price to estimate for closing costs. But anyway, like I said, we're not going to go into all that today. There's a lot of different options involved there. So that would be something to talk to me personally about for your situation. We're going to talk about down payments. Depending on the loan you use and the price of house you're wanting to buy will give us the number that you'll need for your down payment. And that is due at the closing table to cover your purchase that the loan is not covering. If you're using a VA loan, that down payment most of the time is going to be zero. There are exceptions to that if you're buying a second home with your VA loan. There's some different numbers and situations that you need to look at to see where you're going to fall on that. But most of the time there's going to be 0% down payment on a VA loan. An FHA loan is going to be 3.5%. A conventional loan is going to be anywhere from 5 to 20% depending on the product that you are using. And that is something to discuss with the lender if you're going to be using a conventional loan. That said, on a VA loan or an FHA loan, you can choose to put a larger down payment that could help you get a lower interest rate. It could help you be a little more competitive. Those are options. You're not limited to only those closing or down payments. You can make a higher down payment anytime. That's always okay. But again, talking to the lender about how different numbers are going to affect your personal situation is a great idea, and I'm certainly able to help with that. Now, for saving up for that down payment, a lot of people, they look at the numbers and they think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to buy a house because I have to have all this money on hand. So I wanted to give you some tips and ideas. Few different ideas. Of course, the basics going to be look at your budget, see where you can cut. Do you go out to eat once a week? Can you go out to eat only every other week and save the money that you would normally spend on the off week, put it into a down payment account and save it up? If you grab Starbucks every morning, can you cut out the Starbucks? I mean, those are tips you're going to hear for any sort of financial advice, really. So those sorts of things. What can I cut or what can I cut back on? And then redirect those funds into your down payment fund that you have set aside somewhere. Another thing would be negotiating bills you currently have. So if you have cable, if you have a cell phone or a house phone, internet, call those companies and see if you can negotiate a lower price. Sometimes you'll be able to do that if you kind of call and haggle with them, threaten to switch to a different company, or just look around and compare and see if you can't get a better rate from a different company. And often you can get those down a little bit. And then again, make sure you direct all that money into your down payment fund. Save any extra money that comes in. So if you get a tax return, if you get a bonus at work, if you get gift money for holidays or birthdays, make sure all that money, instead of spending it, goes into your down payment fund. Now, once you've exhausted kind of pulling from money you already have, the next step I would suggest would be finding a side gig. Is there a craft you can make and sell? Is there a service you can provide? Can you mow lawns? Can you trim trees? You might have to have certain insurance for that, so check into that one first. Can you drive for one of the meal delivery services? I can't think of the names right now. Can you drive for one of those? I'd say can you babysit, but you need to check your local laws on if that's allowed, or what the stipulations that are for that. Or are there other side jobs you could do? You can walk dogs, pet sit, or you can go actually physically get a job, part-time to help with those funds. So lots of different ideas there, but that would be, the next thing is what can you do on the side that could generate some extra income? Again, making sure you direct it all into your down payment fund. If you need some help with these things, if you need to know how much down payment you're looking for, looking at what kind of loan you can qualify for, and even just to brainstorm some ideas, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to connect you with a lender so we can get some accurate numbers there as well. I'm definitely happy to help with people over the long term. If you want to buy a house in a year and a half, 2 years, but you need some help getting on the right track right now, I've got resources for that. So don't be hesitant to reach out, even if we're looking at a long-term plan. So I'm happy to do that for you. So send me a message, call or email or text, and I'm happy to help. Have a great rest of your day and a wonderful 4th of July weekend.